ego. That's the lesson that was a part of Oprah's life class this past Monday. Very powerful lesson. I really learned a lot from this lesson. You know, it's one thing, you hear it all the time, but when Oprah says it and breaks it down, you know it's true. She's a very successful woman, so who wouldn't listen to her? What I found interesting about this lesson, The Power of Ego, is how she broke down the ego, what the ego is, how it affects our lives, who we are and who we're meant to be. Ego is identification with form. When you identify with anything that isn't really a true representation of who you are, that is your ego. For instance, your ego could be the car you drive. Your ego could be your job. It could be your house, no matter what size it may be. It could be anything. It's not necessarily an attitude. It could be physical things that you identify with. She said a lot of very meaningful, helpful things. A few of the things that stuck out to me was how you cannot really know yourself or truly love yourself until you learn who you are separate from your ego. You have to figure out where the true you abides. The true you abides in that center, in your core, the center of yourself where you're most aware. When you remove all of those things that you're identifying with, the cars, the clothes, the jewelry, the houses, the job, you have to remove those things and focus on the center, the person, that voice in your head that comes to you in the middle of the night when you're laying still and you hear those thoughts. That's the true you. That's the person that you're truly meant to be. And your ego is merely an imposter of who you really are. Another point that Oprah made was that when you're operating out of your ego, you're operating out of fear. And when you're operating out of fear, you'll always be scared. So you never give your real self the opportunity to live the life that you truly were meant to live, have the relationship that you truly were meant to have, be the person that you truly were meant to be, because you've allowed this ego, this imposter that's disguised as you, to take over your life. One thing that gave me my aha moment was knowing that when I lay down at night, I'm not okay with the job that I have. I'm not okay with the house that I live in. I'm not okay with the car that I'm driving. I know that I'm capable. Now, these were all great accomplishments, but they weren't accomplished doing the things that I truly want to do with my life. They are facades that I've placed in my life to make me feel that I've arrived, when really I haven't, because in my center, in the very core of me, I know what my true purpose is, but I've allowed my ego to keep me from becoming that person or letting the true me shine. Make the connection to yourself and disconnect yourself from your ego. Listen to that voice that you're aware of when you're sitting with your eyes closed and you're thinking and you're visualizing and you're seeing the life that you were meant to have. Connect with that. Connect with that part of you. Bring that part of you out and let your ego go. I just wanted to share that. I just really thought it was a very thought-provoking, very informative, very powerful topic, and it really helps you to take a look at yourself and really examine who you truly are. And I've been very aware of that center of me that I just brushed off. I just brushed off because of life, things that occurred, you know, roadblocks that you put in front of you or someone else put in front of you, and that voice, that awareness always is just diminished. is diminished by life and circumstances. But it was, for me, it was beneficial to learn that that awareness really is valid. It really deserves a chance to be shown, to be shared. You know, I will never know my true potential if I don't acknowledge it and act on it. You know, I just wanted to share this with you. I'm not sure if any of you have been watching the live classes. I would highly suggest that if you are not watching the live classes, that you go and you register. It's Oprah.com. You can register. You can watch the shows at 8 o'clock, and then at 9, you can log on to Oprah.com and have a live webcast with her and whoever her guest is for the night. Very informative, very powerful, very moving and motivational classes. Kudos to Oprah.